Don't get me wrong, the Boston Red Sox have had their fair share of struggles so far this 2023 campaign, but none have been more highlighted recently than defensive ones. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and one thing the Boston Red Sox simply can't afford to do this year is play sloppy baseball, right? If you take a look at how inconsistent this Red Sox pitching staff has been, combined with the fact that the AL East is more competitive than ever, and honestly, the American League in general is more competitive than ever, every time the Red Sox decide to play sloppy baseball, they are making themselves just a tiny bit less competitive within this league and within this division. And unfortunately for the Red Sox, over the last couple of series, the Red Sox defense has really brought itself into the spotlight and not in a positive way at all. So what we're going to do in today's video is break down why this Red Sox team has had so many struggles defensively this year. We're going to talk about what's really plaguing this team defensively, and we're going to break down how the Red Sox could solve this defensive problem. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. At the time of this recording, the Boston Red Sox just finished up their Sunday game against the Tampa Bay Rays, where they had 2 total errors. Now, currently, before the stats get officially updated, the Boston Red Sox have 37 errors on the year. That's good for the 3rd highest amount of errors committed by a baseball team in Major League Baseball right now. They are tied for 3rd place, but with those 2 errors committed on Sunday, that brings their total up to 39 and would put them in as the 2nd most errors in Major League Baseball, trailing just the San Francisco Giants. But so far this year, it really hasn't been all bad for the Red Sox defensively. In fact, they've seen some really great improvements on very specific guys throughout the 2023 season. Guys like Jarren Duran, who is currently in the 79th percentile in outs above average. He's also in the 94th percentile in outfielder jump. Now, that is a huge increase from his 2022 statistics, so that's an immediate positive right there. You have Alex Verdugo, who's in the 86th percentile in outs above average this year, and is in the 84th percentile in outfielder jump, as well as the 94th percentile in arm strength. Again, another guy who kind of struggled defensively a little bit last year, so for him to improve is a really great thing. You've got Rafael Devers, who's really improved so far this year and is now playing above average defense at 3rd base and is currently in the 69th percentile in outs above average. Rafi notably has not been a great defensive 3rd baseman for his entire career, so to have a season like this where he is an above average defender is really great for Rafi and for the Red Sox as well. And finally, you got a guy like Connor Wong, who has been insane defensively behind the plate. He's currently 7th in all of Major League Baseball in defensive WAR, not just for catchers, but everyone in Major League Baseball. And he has the 3rd highest defensive WAR among all active catchers, trailing only just 2 players in Major League Baseball. So yeah, there have been some really great performances defensively from this Red Sox team throughout the entirety of 2023. The problem right now with the Red Sox is that these performances are being heavily outweighed by the negatives from a select group of people. And overall, recently, the Boston Red Sox have been playing sloppy baseball all the way around. We're seeing not smart plays defensively all over the place for this Red Sox team. But if we're talking in totality of the season, a large grouping of these errors are being committed by a small group of people, and no one is committing more errors on the Boston Red Sox right now than Kike Hernandez. And don't get me wrong, I love Kike. There's a reason his jersey's sitting behind my left shoulder right now, or while you're watching this, you're right? I love Kike as a ball player, but as a shortstop so far this year, not so much. Kike currently leads all of Major League Baseball in errors with 13, which is 2 more than the 2nd place player CJ Abrams. Kike is also in the 1st percentile in outs above average, meaning right now 99% of Major League Baseball players have been better defensively this year than Kike Hernandez. His outs above average are also currently at -7, which brings him to the 6th worst outs above average metric in all of baseball. Only 6 other players have a worse outs above average than Kike Hernandez. And baseball is a true team sport, right? You're not going to win or lose over the course of an entire season based on one singular player alone. And if you don't believe me, take a look at what the Angels have been able to do with the two greatest players of our generation on their team over the last couple of seasons, right? You're not going to be able to win or lose over the course of a season based on one player. But to rub a little bit of salt in the wound and put things into a bit of perspective here in terms of just how poorly Kike has been defensively for this team, if you took away Kike's 13 errors from the Red Sox total errors, right? If he was an average major league shortstop, he would have around the average of 1 error at this point in the season. So let's take away 12, right? That would put the Red Sox at 27 total errors on the year. That would be 1 error below league average, and it would put them in the top half of teams in terms of the entirety of Major League Baseball in errors committed. So while the errors alone make this team look way worse defensively than they actually are, it's still a major problem team-wise for this Red Sox team. And like I said, Kike's kind of been the face of defensive struggles for this team so far this year, and while he has been by far and away the worst defensive player on the Boston Red Sox so far this year, and honestly one of the worst defensive players in baseball so far this year, he's not alone in being below average when it comes to defense. In fact, there are a couple guys who are also in the top 50 in the worst outs above average in all of baseball. Tristan Casas is currently the 30th worst in baseball in outs above average with -4, and is in just the 4th percentile in that same metric. Emmanuel Valdez and Masataka Yoshida are back-to-back as the 37th and 38th worst outs above average in baseball, both with -3. Kind of unsurprising there, right? Neither of them were touted to be these highly fantastic defensive players on the field, and honestly, I'm going to completely forget Masataka Yoshida's errors because the dude is just so good offensively. I don't really care what he does defensively, right? But those are still a couple of guys on this Red Sox team who are also helping contribute to the poor Red Sox overall defense. Now, in terms of the entire team total, no one's really looked all that good defensively over the last 10 games, because over the Red Sox last 10 games, they have a total of 7 errors. That's an average of 0.7 errors per game, which if you took that over the course of an entire 162 game season, they would have an astronomical 113.4 errors. Now, obviously, they're not going to probably have 0.7 errors per game over the entire season, but this is just to show you just how bad defensively this Red Sox team has been over its last couple of series. So, how did the Red Sox fix this? Honestly, the answers to how do the Red Sox fix this are pretty simple on paper, at least, right? And it's do the little things correctly, right? Hit the correct cutoff, man. Throw to the correct base. Hold the ball when you need to hold the ball. Don't throw to third when you could get the runner at first or at second. You can make the sure out, right? It's little things. It's playing smart baseball. If you play smart baseball, a lot of these errors are naturally going to take care of themselves. Like we saw over the last couple of games in this Tampa Bay series, the Red Sox haven't really been playing smart baseball, and it's led to some really tough and embarrassing plays happening over the last couple of days. So the first solution to this problem on paper is really simple, right? It's just play smarter baseball. Now, the other solution to this problem is also simple as well. Again, I love Kike Hernandez, the person, the ball player. I do not love Kike Hernandez as a shortstop. It's simply time to move Kike Hernandez off of shortstop. Now, I'm not talking about DFAing the dude or anything, but moving him off of shortstop, either to second base or maybe to the bench in a utility role, would help this team greatly defensively going forward. Right now, in terms of defensive options for shortstop, you've got Pablo Reyes, who isn't going to give you anything offensively, but he's going to be really solid at shortstop. You've got Christian Arroyo getting closer and closer every day to making his return to the Boston Red Sox. And again, is he going to be the greatest shortstop in the world? No, but right now the Boston Red Sox don't need great shortstop. They need league average shortstop, right? And on top of that too, you've got Yu Chang, who started his rehab assignment again as well, who we all know plays a fantastic shortstop. And of course, coming back towards the end of July or mid-July, you've got Trevor Story. Story, who I know you guys do have some concerns with Trevor Story at shortstop. Mostly all of those concerns are based on his arm. Well, if his arm is fully fixed, Trevor Story is one of the most elite defenders in all of baseball, and he can certainly handle the shortstop position with the Boston Red Sox. So until Trevor Story comes back, I think the easy answer in terms of how the Red Sox can immediately improve defensively over the next couple of months is to move Kike off shortstop and have a combination of Pablo Reyes or Christian Arroyo, Yu Chang take over that shortstop position, and at the bare minimum give you league average production, because that's all you really need to be an above league average team when it comes to committing errors. If you can just eliminate the errors we've had this year at shortstop, again, you're in the top 15 for errors committed in Major League Baseball. So the two answers to this question are really, really simple. Play smarter baseball and remove Kike Hernandez from being the starting shortstop of the Boston Red Sox. Now, I know this is a lot easier for me to come on here, sit behind a desk, speak into a microphone, and talk into a camera than it is for the Red Sox to come together and be like, oh yeah, we should just play smart baseball. Oh yeah, we should just move Kike off a shortstop. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated and difficult to do that than it is for me to say that. But going forward, as the Red Sox are heating up and trying to get back into this race, into the wild card spot, into back to being competitive within this division, giving away runs on sloppy baseball makes it exponentially harder to do that. This Red Sox team lives and dies by its offense, but it certainly can injure itself by its sloppy defense. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Red Sox defensive struggles this year? And what do you think the solution to the Red Sox defensive struggles are? Let me know all your thoughts on the Red Sox defense in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.